This is Hannibal, back here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update. I just finished watching some videos on Linda McMahon, who was at the Republican National Convention tonight, where basically Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Famer, accepted the proposition for his candidacy from the Republican Party to be the Republican candidate for presidency in the next election. I did watch her speech, Dana White's speech, and Hulk Hogan's speech. I'll do a separate review of Hulk Hogan. But there was also an interview with Linda McMahon where she was asked about how her family situation is, and she said, quote, "We're all doing great. Thank you, doing great," end quote. So they're just plowing through this. To be honest, it seems like it's pretty much out of the news now, and people really don't care about it that much as far as the Vince McMahon allegations. WWE has moved on under different owners, and McMahon is keeping quiet, and a lot of stuff questioning Janelle Grant's case came out. So we'll see how that plays out in court when it finally goes to court, and if it finally goes to court. Dana White had a very good speech introducing Trump, who commented on his assassination attempt last week, which he luckily survived. As far as AEW, they broke their terrible ratings streak, where they've been neck and neck with NXT for the 250th episode this week. They went all out with MJF against Will Ospreay, and they got a 0.27 rating, which is their best rating in 6 months. Keep in mind, I think their very first rating was like a 0.66 or something like that. And they were in, I believe, North Little Rock, Arkansas, and the amount of ticket, even though it did a good rating, the 250th episode, the pre-sale, including comps, was around 2,000. I don't know what the final number is, but it wasn't a great, maybe it wasn't the greatest location to do the 250 episode, but it did pop a decent rating. There's a lot going on, by the way, speaking of AEW TV, behind the scenes with Warner Brother Discoveries that might affect whatever offer they're going to get on a potential new deal, as their current deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, I think, runs out at the end of the year. So Warner Brothers Discovery is also looking at the NHL and NBA, and they've made a lot of cuts lately. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of offer AEW gets, because this deal is basically going to make or break the profitability of the company, which last year, according to reports, they lost about $34 million. Overall, I think this year has been worse than last year for AEW. They have got decent pay-per-view numbers, but as far as rating and attendance, it hasn't been great. And the free agents that they've signed overall have not made a difference at all in the company's popularity. So I will be back with my review of Hulk Hogan's speech at the Republican National Convention. Well, what also could come up under the federal investigation is there is no federal investigation. I mean, they're investigating it, but they haven't actually formally charged him with anything. Grandma Daisy is looking forward to the Greg Valentine interview. I used to have his action figures, but I sold them. So I have no use for collecting action figures. Grandma Daisy Piper actually ran away for about 20 minutes today. So thank God she came back. But it was a very frightening situation. My ex is looking after her right now, and she got out of her leash. So thank God she came back. Thank God. Scary moment. That Piper is very mischievous. Have a good night. I'll be back with my review of Hulk Hogan's speech, which was more of a wrestling promo than a speech.